G'day, g'day. It's Nick here, and this is one of our inland taipans, who to most of you would be known as the most venomous snake on the planet. But every time we say this in one of our videos, we have people in the comments say, but what about the sea snakes? Aren't the sea snakes the most venomous snakes and taipans are the most venomous land snakes? And it's a fair enough question. There's a lot of information out there. So in this video, what we're going to do is look at the data that we do have and compare the inland taipan, the most venomous land snake on earth, with the most venomous sea snakes that we know of, and truly figure out who is the most venomous snakes on the planet. Stick around. So before we can talk about who is the most venomous snake on earth, first we need to clear up two other topics. And the first one is, what do we mean by this? And for the majority of people, I think we can agree when we're talking about the most venomous snakes, we're talking about the most potent venom. So this doesn't take into account things like how quick does the venom work, or how much venom does the snake have or have in a bite, just how potent is the venom. The second thing that we need to sort of clear up is how we're going to measure this. And there is actually a defined way of measuring toxins. It's called the LD50 test. Basically what it is the smallest amount of a toxin, be it snake venom or bleach or pretty much anything, rat bait, whatever, it takes to kill 50% of the subjects in a test. Now it does get confusing because depending what you're testing, you could use different test subjects. So in snake bite testing, we generally use mice, but you could also use things like human tissue cells. You could use rabbits, you could use rats, you could use anything, and this can actually change the results. The other confusing thing is you can administer the toxins differently. So with snake bites, we tend to administer the venom or the toxin into the test subject, a mouse, subcutaneously, which means under the skin. But if you were testing other things or in other ways, you can administer that toxin intramuscularly, straight into the muscle tissue, intravenously, or into the body cavity. So it can go straight into their body, it can go into their blood vessels, and you're going to get different results depending how you measure it. Now, it is important to note that this test is far from perfect. Having the most potent venom does not make the snake the most dangerous snake to live around or to work with, or even to get bitten by. And we can talk about the issues with the LD50 test in another video. If that is something you would be interested in, let us know in the comments that you want to know about LD50 testing, and we will see what we can do, a video on toxicity. But in this case, we're comparing the two, the inland taipan and the sea snakes. Now, the confusion between taipans and sea snakes actually stems from this test. You see, if you look up just LD50 results, there is published results that the toxicity for the inland taipan is 0.02 milligrams of venom per kilogram of body weight in whatever's being bitten. There is also results saying that the Belchers sea snake has an LD50 score of 0.024 milligrams of venom per kilogram of body weight, making the Belchers sea snake seem slightly more toxic than the inland taipan, making it the most venomous snake on the planet. The issue is when we look deeper. And once we look deeper, we realize that the inland taipan testing is done in the classical way of testing snake bite in general. And that is that subcutaneous injection of venom into mice. The sea snake study that was used involved intramuscular testing. So basically taking venom and injecting it directly into the muscle tissue of the test subjects. And the problem with this is that we can expect that venom will have a more detrimental effect when it is administered directly into the body of an animal versus simply under the skin. It's going to take less to do a worse job. It's kind of like saying, we could say one car's more dangerous than another one when they've hit you at different speeds. It's not comparing apples with apples. And this confusion actually stems back to a single source. In the 1990s, there was a book published called Snakes in Question. And in this book, a well-meaning author basically compiled a list of LD50 scores and just put them in order without any reference to exactly what method of testing was used. And because of this, over decades, more and more people have used that source, quite honestly, to write their journals and newspaper articles and websites. And we've evolved this myth that the sea snake is more venomous than the taipan, when we can say that Belchers sea snake was not tested the same way. We cannot rely on that result. Now, if that doesn't make this story confusing enough, the next thing you'd say logically is, well, what is the Belchers sea snake's LD50 when tested subcutaneously? The same way we do taipans, and we should really test all other snakes, because this is the method that most accurately represents a bite to a human being. The problem is, as far as I can find, and much smarter researchers than me can find, there is no published data on a subcutaneous LD50 test for the Belchers sea snake. What we do have is other sea snakes that have been compared using other methods to the Belchers sea snake. In fact, if you ask most sea snake experts what the most venomous sea snake on earth is, they will tell you it is the Du Bois sea snake, not the Belchers sea snake. And luckily for us, the Du Bois sea snake has been measured in the same way, using the same methods that we use to measure taipans and all other snakes. So when we take the Du Bois sea snake, who, as I said, is believed to be the most venomous of the sea snakes, his LD50 score, when tested subcutaneously in mice, is 0.044 milligrams of venom per kilogram of body weight, compared to the inland taipan, who, as I said, has a score of 0.025, which means the Du Bois sea snake takes a little under twice as much venom to achieve the same result in the test as the inland taipan, meaning the inland taipan is more venomous than the most venomous sea snakes that we know of. So with all this being said, it is fairly obvious that when we take all the testing that we do have from the data that is available to people today, there is no debate that the inland taipan is the most venomous snake on the planet when tested in the means that scientists consider the most appropriate way to treat or to test snake venoms. So with that being said, if you could do me a huge favor, if you could find us on Facebook, Wannon Creek Wildlife Park, or subscribe to the channel, that would be a great help to us. Getting back into videos, every subscriber, every view counts, so do your bit. Subscribe to the channel, find us on Facebook, leave a comment down below on what you want to see next. Check on back next week, but between now and then, be nice to snakes, have a good one, and take care.